Hey guys, hope all is well. I'm just here to give you another video on today's lesson. Yesterday you did lesson 1 of chapter 6 which was translations, and today we're going to do lesson 2, which is reflections. So this is all about transformations. Lesson 1 with translations was about sliding an object, and today we're going to do reflections, which is more of flipping an object. So your assignment for today was page 464, 1 and 2, and page 465, 1 through 7. Okay, so with the reflections, remember it's like flipping something, okay? And we're going to specifically look at flipping an object over a specific axis, okay? So, for example, the x-axis, we're going to flip over this one right here, okay? And the y-axis, we're going to flip over the y-axis. Okay, so let's take a look at number 1 and let's see what we can do with this problem. So number 1 says graph triangle ABC with vertices 5, 1, 1, 2, and 6, 2. So let's go ahead and graph that first. So let's go to A is at 5, 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1. So that is point A of my triangle. Point B is at 1, 2, so I'm going to go over 1 and up 2. That is point B, and point C is at 6, 2, so I'm going to go over 6 and up 2, and it's a little hard to see, but it's right here. And now we have this triangle here, okay? Now my lines aren't super straight, but you get the idea. Alright, now it says with a reflection over the x-axis. Then find the coordinates of the image. So the reflection, our new shape, is called an image. Okay? And we're going to look at the reflection over the x-axis. So this shape is going to reflect this way. It's going to flip. Okay? Now, the nice, easy way we can do this and to think about it is if it's flipping over the x-axis, the only coordinate that is changing is the y-coordinate. And the only thing that happens is the y-coordinate becomes negative. Okay? That's all that happens, is the y-coordinate becomes negative if it's flipping over the x-axis. If it was flipping over the y-axis or reflecting over the y-axis, then the x-coordinate would become negative. Okay? And that's just a nice easy trick to where if you don't have a graph, that's what you could do, is just change the negative in front of those coordinates. Okay, so if this is flipping over the x-axis or reflecting over the x-axis, let's start with point A. So let me change colors. So point A is going to reflect, so it's one space away from the x-axis, so it's only going to reflect one space away below it. And this is now going to be A prime. Remember, the prime stands for, it's a new point, but it refers to point A. Okay? B prime, it's 2 spaces away from the x, so it's also going to be 2 spaces away from below the x, so this is now B prime. And C prime is also 2 spaces away, so it will also be 2 spaces away. And that is C prime. And we can draw our shape. And notice our shape is still congruent, okay? That triangle still has the same shape. I know it's kind of hard to see. My triangles aren't the greatest. But it stays the same shape and stays the same size. It doesn't change the congruence. So now we need the coordinates. So A prime, if we notice, it has the same x-coordinate of 5, but the y-coordinate for A changes to -1. Same thing with B prime. B prime has the same x-coordinate of 1, but the y-coordinate is now -2. And C prime has the same x-coordinate of 6, but now has a y-coordinate of also -2. Okay? So the little trick is to just change the negative of the opposite coordinate of the axes. Okay? So if we look at number 2 says the figure is reflected over the y-axis. Find the coordinates of A prime and B prime. Then sketch the image. Now, I'm not going to sketch the image here. You guys can do that on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to reflect this over the y-axis. Okay, let's start with point A. Notice point A right here is on the y-axis, right? So if we reflect it over the y-axis, that point A cannot change. Okay, it's going to stay on the y-axis. So point A is, or point A prime, I should say, is going to stay the same coordinate. So notice we go 0 on the x, so that's 0, and we go up 5. So 0, 5. So that is A prime. On B prime, we reflect it over the y-axis. Now I'm going to do it without graphing first. I'm going to show you that we don't need to graph it. We can just use the points. Okay. So the point for B is 2, 4. So that's point B. So if I'm going to B prime over the y-axis, we are going to change the x-coordinate to -2, right? Just the x becomes negative. So if we look, -2, 4 would be right here, and it matches that reflection. Okay, so this would be B prime. This one was A prime. And so B prime is now -2, 4. So the little trick is to just make the opposite coordinate negative to whatever the axis is, right? So that's just the little trick we can use for reflections. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And I hope this was helpful. Thanks.